This morning, a good friend of mine sent me an urgent email message. The subject? The fact that the biotech and genetics company 23andMe had recently declared bankruptcy, and as a result, its DNA database might soon be sold off. 5 years ago, I used 23andMe's test kit, and I reported on its detection of the so-called Alzheimer's gene in the sample that I submitted. So I find this latest news to be alarming on many levels, including a very personal one. I have a very low opinion of private equity firms in general. And if I understand right, one of them is currently bidding on 23andMe's assets. Those assets include its collection of DNA records, and one of those records is mine. So I quickly made the decision to go ahead and submit a record deletion request to 23andMe. And I thought it would be a good idea to document the steps that I took. And I figured I would share them on this channel just in case you are a 23andMe customer yourself and have similar concerns. This isn't a video I had any prior notion of making. I didn't intend to make it, I didn't plan to make it, but here we are. Besides documenting the steps that I took to help anybody else who might need them, I also am documenting them because of another piece of news that came along with the main report. Namely that some people are having problems having their delete request honored. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to take screenshots anyway. So I'm now going to transfer you over to a slideshow that I created, and I'll show you a lot of the screenshots that I took. And we'll just dive right in. Deleting my records from 23andMe. I'll do this in 4 quick sections which correspond to the order that I did things. In these, I'll outline the procedure that I use to back up my data, verify my consents, request that my data be deleted, and then close my 23andMe account. Check the description under this video for a brief table of contents with timestamps if you want to jump around. I found and used a helpful article from ABC News to get going myself. And it's worth noting right off the bat that 23andMe has acknowledged issues in the, quote, customer experience. If you click Learn More, you can read about the issues which they started experiencing on March 25th, problems with password resets and problems with account deletion. However, their log says that on the 27th, these issues were resolved. I'm doing this on the 28th of March, and I had no issues. I did find, first of all, however, that I couldn't log in without resetting my password. So I had to click Reset Password. I typed in my email address, the one that I registered my 23andMe account with, clicked the Send Reset Email button. A pop-up indicated that a reset email was being sent to the email address. I checked my inbox and got the email. I opened the email and clicked the Reset Password button inside of it. Note that the email explains that if the reset button doesn't work, you can copy and paste a link into your browser. And I apologize, I forgot to screenshot the actual password change screen, but my recollection is that I either had to type in my email address or possibly the old password, come up with a new password, confirm the new password, and then click some kind of save button. There is a verification code that is involved, and that code also gets sent to the email address. Checking my inbox, I opened the relevant email, got the code, either type or copy paste the code into the verification box, and click verify. At that point, I received an email confirming that the password had been changed. And I was able to go back to the login screen, retype in my email address and the new password, and click sign in. Now, the second thing I did was to download my data. I paid for it after all. I figure I might as well keep it. So once I was in, and this is my main screen, then we're going to be concentrated on the upper right-hand portion where you can see my initials, MB, and there's a little drop-down arrow. If you click the arrow, you get a menu. Scroll down to and click Settings. I did not get a screenshot at the top of the settings page, but if you scroll all the way down, there is a box that says 23andMe Data. That's where most of our emphasis is going to be concentrated. You have to click View. That opens up a separate page where there are a number of options. The first one being Reports Summary. Clicking the Reports Summary button actually opened for me an entirely new window, and it's one of those windows that automatically initiates the printer. So you can see my printer. This is the screen that I saw. If you have another printer to select, you would just click the drop-down arrow, find the right printer, and then of course you would press the print button if you want a hard copy, paper copy. In Windows anyway, often there's an option for saving the file as a PDF, which you would select from the drop-down, and then you have to press print, but it actually saves the document as a PDF. In any case, there's a box at the top of the report summary page that reminds you to close the window because there's sensitive data. Beneath the report summary, you'll find Ancestry Composition Raw Data. If you click the Download Ancestry Composition Data button, it will immediately bring up a zip file, which you can navigate to whatever directory you want to save it in, and then click Save. I'm doing all of this on a Windows 11 PC. Back to the main data screen, below Ancestry Composition Data is Family Tree Data. And if you click the Download Family Tree Data button, you'll have the option to save the data. This isn't a video about what to do with the data or even how to open the file. It's just what I did to save it. Below Family Tree Data is Raw Data. And if you click the Download Raw Data button, it'll bring up another page. I want to highlight a couple of the important warnings to consider. The first one is a warning from 23andMe that you should be careful what you do with the data, who you give it to, if you upload it to another company. Just be careful, know what you're doing. For our purposes, the more important warning is the first one, namely that if you close your account and delete your data before your data download request has been processed, your data download request will be canceled and you will not receive your raw data file or files. Now, I didn't actually go through with this. They imply here, they don't state it outright, but they imply that this request is going to take some time to process. If you want to close your 23andMe account and delete your data, or if you want a copy of your raw data, you have to decide which of those is more important to you. My priority is downloading what I can, getting the data deleted, and closing the account before the company changes hands. That's my priority. If you have a different priority, then maybe you just get your data and then ask them to delete your data once you have it in hand. I don't know how long that will take. It's quite possible that 23andMe would be owned by a different company at that point, so that's your decision. I decided not to do this. But if you're interested in what the data would look like, they do display a sample page, and if you click on what changes have been made to my raw data over time, you get more information, kind of a change log. And if you do want it, it would be under this Request Your Raw Genotyping Data Download screen. You would click that you understand the limitations and everything we just said, and then you would click Submit Request. But once again, I just backed out of this. I did not go through with it. Now, the third thing I did while I still have access to my account is that I double-checked that my consent authorizations were all the way I wanted them to be. So once again, from the main screen, click the drop down next to the little initials in the corner, find settings, and click it. And this time we're going from the top down under memberships. And as soon as my account is deleted, I'm sure they're going to delete you from any membership that you might have. So I didn't even bother with this, and I don't have any memberships anyway. Under that is privacy and sharing. Now you can click the edit button in order to change the settings. Now here, there isn't too much. If you want to stop the screen and read it, you can. But I'm going to focus on the portion of it at the top that says connections. Starting in the middle, it says that I am not allowing connections to buy gifts with my ancestry results. So since I'm already not allowing that, there's nothing that I would personally want to do to change the setting. But now when I look at the top, it says that I am allowing shared invitations from other 23andMe customers. So since I am allowing this, and since I'm closing everything down, I figured I might just change that setting. So I clicked block all invitations. Once I did that, it indicated that my preferences had been updated, and now I could change it back to allow. But since I am now happy with that, I'm just going to click back to settings, and I'll scroll down to preferences. This is things like email notification settings and other such. I've already elected not to store my samples, and I have not opted to take part in their beta program. I forget what any of this really is, but it's not a video about that anyway. If you are interested, I might have mentioned it in the first videos that I did. But if you do want to change any of these settings, you would click edit. That would bring up this screen, You could deselect the emails. In most emails, there's at the bottom of the email, there's the option to get off the email list. So I figure I'm just going to leave these as they are. That's my choice. You can do whatever you like. So going back, I'm now going beneath the preferences to research and product consents. So the first one is 23andMe research consent, and I've already declined that. I must have done that when I initially signed up. So I'm going to leave that as it is. And similarly for individual data sharing, I have not consented, and that's the way I want it. But again, if you want to change something in your own settings, click edit, and you'll have the option to revoke consent on any of those if you have given it. Or consent, I guess, if you haven't. Although, if you're going to delete your data anyway, I don't see the point in that. But finally, it's time to actually submit the delete request. Once again, starting from the main screen, in the upper right-hand corner, the drop-down, click Settings. And this time we would scroll all the way down where it says 23andMe data. This is where we downloaded the backup data. Once again, we'll click View. At this point, it has a security feature that requires you to input your date of birth. I forgot to mention this with the backing up of the data, but I think I had to do it before I could even download the data. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just enter in your month, day, and year of your birth. Once you have entered information into the fields, the button will light up and you can click Confirm. Once you click Confirm, the button will change color, and you'll be able to get in. This time we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen to where it says delete data. I want to highlight the caution box here. Just so you know, it says, quote, data deletion cannot be reversed. You will permanently lose access to your reports, insights, profile, and any connections or DNA relatives matches you may have established, and any pending data download requests you have made will be canceled. If you're fine with that, then you scroll all the way down. You have the option to give them information as to why you're requesting to delete your data. I actually did this, and I wrote that concern over my data being sold to a third party, such as private equity firm, and that for all I know, the private equity firm may attempt to resell my data for unknown purposes, and once 23andMe was in different hands, my data might be less accessible to me, the company might be less reachable, and they might not be as transparent as 23andMe was. So for all those reasons, I'm deleting my data. Now you could make a case that I probably should have deleted my data before this. You could even make a case that dealing with a company like this right from the beginning is a mistake. I'm not going to argue any of those points. I did it for the Alzheimer's research, for my channel, and for my Alzheimer's project. And for you, maybe it doesn't make sense to expose your genetic particulars to any company whatsoever. That aside, once you have written, if you want to, any reason in the box, you click permanently delete data. This is just a different view. Once again, the button changes color when you press it. And in this case, it had to think about it for a couple seconds, but ultimately I got this confirmation message. We have received your request to delete your data and have sent an email to the email address linked to your 23andMe account requesting your confirmation. Please locate this email and confirm your request. Your data deletion request will not be processed until we have received your confirmation. Now, in some of the news articles covering the 23andMe bankruptcy and the proposed sale of the DNA databases, one of the problems that they mentioned people were having is they would get to this point and the email would never arrive. Now that, I take it, is one of the problems that 23andMe acknowledged occurred starting on the 25th of March, but by the 27th, according to them, that process was fixed and it was working again. So when I went to my email, it was a bit of a nail-biter for a couple of seconds, but indeed the email arrived, 23andMe delete account request, and when I opened it, the main button staring you in the face is permanently delete all records. Once I pressed the button, I think it automatically redirected me to the following page where it said, your data is being deleted. We received your confirmation and we're in the process of deleting your data. Your account will no longer be accessible and will be deleted per your request. Now, to check that, I went back to the login screen. I typed in my email address and the password that I had just come up with for the reset password portion of this, and I got an error. Email address or password you entered is not correct. Please try again, but of course, that is the confirmation that I wanted, indicating, I presume, that my account is now been closed. And if you go back to my email folder, you'll see that from the very first operation I did, resetting the password, to the very final confirmation, the entire thing took me about an hour. And that will just about do it.